Birds of a feather flock together. Or is this opposites attract? The thing about proverbs is they always come in pair, often contradicting each other. And oddly enough, both can be true. Friends tend to gather around shared beliefs and ideas. Couples, however, often connect through shared values while holding different, sometimes complementary beliefs. It's as if nature knows what is doing well sometimes. I often say value are our ideals, belief are the method we use to get there. Now, while that's a convenient model, it doesn't fully stand up to scientific scrutiny. But it's a useful way to simplify a very complex topic. In reality, there is no clear-cut boundary between values and beliefs. There's mental constructs, often overlapping and shaped by personal perception. Broadly speaking, values answer the why, what's important to us, and beliefs answers to how we think we can reach those ideals. Even then, we can distinguish between, on one side, terminal values and instrumental values, and on the other side, core beliefs and operational beliefs. But for simplicity, I treat instrumental values as ideals and core beliefs as methods. Why does this matter? Because research shows we tend to share many values across cultures, religions, and social backgrounds. What really separates us are our beliefs, the moral or practical systems we trust to reach those shared values. Values are deeply rooted in our identity and slow to evolve. Beliefs, however, are much more flexible and much more susceptible to cognitive bias, especially confirmation bias, but more on that later. Psychologist Shalom Schwartz identified 10 universal values found across societies: self-direction, stimulation, hedonism, achievement, power, security, conformity, tradition, benevolence, universalism. Understanding this helps us shift the focus from what divides us to what unites us. Even in conflict, we may be driven by the same core values. It's our beliefs and our bias that make reconciliation so difficult. Here's what concerns me most. Some of our beliefs are actively driving us toward failure as a society and as individuals. And this hits close to home because I work in the field of workplace motivation, a domain increasingly affected by ideological polarization. This growing divide stems from two things. First, media algorithms feed us dopamine-rich content that validates what we already believe. And second, there is no new framework to help people manage divergent beliefs while still aligning on shared values. Today's polarization serves two main purposes: divide and conquer, of course, and create easy-to-target audiences for profit and power. In both cases, beliefs are reduced to simplistic narratives. Complex problems are met with oversimplified answers, and when a problem feels unsolvable, motivation collapses. In the C. and Ryan self-determination theory, this is called amotivation, state where people lose all desire to act, often because they feel incapable, unskilled, powerless, or that their effort have no impact. To stay motivated, we need goals that are clear, meaningful, and reachable, like the SMART framework. But even the idea of change is frightening, especially for those with power or privilege. The more you have, the more you stand to lose. That's when confirmation bias becomes a shield. We justify resisting change by convincing ourselves it won't work, or that others should change first. And I'm not immune. Like 80% of us, I live in a bubble I reinforce every day through the books I read, the videos I watch, and even the content I produce, like this one. My perspective hasn't changed much over the past 5 years. I still seek validation for the systemic motivation model I created. Imagine discovering that 10 years of work were all wrong. Let's hope not. I still believe the model is solid. This values-beliefs hierarchy appears in many models. One of the clearest, the OKR framework. An objective is ambitious, inspiring. It answers, where do we want to go? Key results are measurable milestones that track progress. The answer, how do we know we are getting there? And here is a twist. Treat the objective as a shared value and treat the key results as the indicator of belief effectiveness. They're like KPI of our methods. And actually, same logic applies to user story in Agile. The user story is the value, and the acceptance criteria are the measurable checks. The definition of done close the loop. Why make this switch? Because beliefs are personal, and we all think our own beliefs are best. But they're easily skewed by emotion and bias. OKRs let us test beliefs without judgment, using results over time. But it only works if the time frame is agreed in advance and all the key results, not just one, are considered. We should even anticipate undesired side effects and treat them as learning opportunities, not failures. Our values are often more similar than we think, but our beliefs take us in widely different directions. And assuming you're always right and the other side is always wrong is itself a limiting belief. The way forward? Let's combine simple beliefs that complement one another to bring us closer to the value we all share. If emotions and bias keep us stuck in our belief bubbles, maybe it's time to move the dopamine reward from personal validation to collective success. Let's learn to enjoy building something meaningful together, because thanks for watching all the way through. If you found this helpful, a little like goes a long way. I hope this week brings you meaningful values and beliefs that bring happiness to those around you. And don't forget,
boost the system.
Clock punch, soul punch, gonna make my own lunch. This ain't my final destination, just another step in my transformation. Time I jump, can't think.